It's already 2025. How we still not know that? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that questions thrown so easily in most of these day conversations or in the comment sections makes sound like a murder frustration. Deep inside, it hides something sharper, a cruel assumptions that knowing is easy, that ignorance is a simply laziness, as if all of us were born in the same air with the same soul, with the same book at our bedside, as if intelligence defied from access, defied from change. The irony is biting. We live in a time where knowledge sits at our fingertips and yet not at the tip of the mind. And for many, it never even reached their hands. So that's say, bonjour, mademoiselle. Or as we say back home, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Chesta, Muhammad Chesta Alam. And I stand here not as someone who knows more, no, but as someone who still has so much to learn. I speak not from the height of intellect, but from the ground, where questions grow, where dreams are still seeds, where curiosity is still louder than certainty. I come with the stories, not to teach, but to share. And if in those stories you find a resemblance, or maybe a little bit spark, then perhaps we are not so human after all. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we often say that this is the age of information, but perhaps more truthfully, it is the age of confusion. We live in civilization that is exhausted, not because of lack of informations, but because of a failure to sort out which informations that build and which words. And so now, a new call has emerged, that to know first is to be right, that to read quickly is to be worthy of speaking, that debating is about winning, not about listening. We mistake the swiftness of our tongues for the sharpness of our minds. We confuse being well informed with being wise, and in our narcissistic hunger to be seen as right. So now we have forgotten how to be true. An American society psychologist, Jonathan Haidt, observed that people do not begin with reason, they begin with intuition. Logic often is an afterthought, a servant to be sired. Therefore, education should be more than just pursuit of degree or applause. It should be for not only intelligent minds, but also loving minds. If education builds walls between the involved and the invisible, then it has failed in its most sacred duty, to connect minds, not to divide them. If young people who have learned at school and consider themselves too high and clever to be merged in a simple society, then it's better that education is not given to them at all. We love to mock. We openly love to mock. They are lazy to learn. But have you ever sat in their classroom, the one with no windows, no Wi-Fi, and no second change? And let's look at the numbers. According to the 2024 data from Statistik Indonesia, or BPS, only 3 out of 10 Indonesians over 15 years old finish high school, and only 1 in 10 make it to college. The average years of schooling? Only 9. Only 9 years, that's enough for the junior high school. Now, compare. In Jakarta itself, its average people get over 11 years of schooling. But in Papua Mountains, barely 5 years, not even elementary schools. One of the causes is the high teacher absence rate, which is around 37 to 43%. So when we talk about effort or laziness, maybe we should also talk about access. In cities, screen time is a threat, but in some other places, there is no screen to begin with, and still expect the same result, the same feature? What kind of justice is that? Well, bloody yeah, it's already 2025, so what? Does knowing more mean you were just born lucky? Is progress just a party where only rich got the invite? We talk about effort, but ignore how far some had to walk just to try. He praised the ones who speak well and love and was still trying to connect. But here's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Mocking won't build schools. Shaming won't send signal. If we truly want to move forward, then we move together, not ahead. Because no matter how loud you shout change, it means nothing if the quiet can't hear it. In this country, education can feel like a lottery. Those born in the right places win dreams by default. Others grow up just trying to survive the day. The government, yeah, appears in slogans, in programs, in pixels, but too often, its touch never becomes tangible. Collaboration is discussed, inclusion is tweeted, but students, they still sat on rotten floors, waiting for the future they're not sure is coming. Therefore, in this world, the phrase unlocking dreams can feel like satire. Because how can we speak of doors open when the building was never built? So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. This is not the rejection of progress, but the reclamation of its soul. This is not a speech against those who dare to dream, but a reminder for those who forget to look down where many still climbing. Education must not be a race to the top that forgets to build the stairs. To all who pursue change, this is not a rebuke, but a call. Do not let your brilliance blind your mind. Do not let your brilliance blind you to the shadows still cast by injustice. Shine, yes, shine! But shine in a way that lights the paths for the others. I say to you again, to ladies and gentlemen, to all of you, to all of us, students, teachers, lecturers, dreamers, builders, let us rise, let us teach, let us line up the way.